Okay, today I have a rare evening on my own. The wife is out visiting friends, and yeah, I've got an evening on the weekend, so I am going to progress with this. I am going to take off the fuel tank because I want to see what's inside and I want to look at that fuel pump, and I want to get a good idea of how everything works inside. I've been looking at parts like you can't believe, and millions of different pictures trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm a bit stuck at the moment. I'm about to order some parts. I think I may have found a whole front end, very expensive, but they come off Suzuki, I think it's an S1000 RR, so lovely golden inverted forks and a wheel, brakes, the whole thing. I have to decide on the exhaust, and I've been looking at all the options at Café for Racer. I've got to decide on the seat and where I'm going to chop it. And the rear sets are surprisingly difficult. I don't want this here. I want it set back, but I don't want it to be too aggressive because it'll be uncomfortable. But it looks like the different exhausts that you get in the different rear sets, we're going to have to fabricate some brackets to hold it all together. I don't want to put the old brackets on there, ugly and big and heavy. So there's a bit of work. I also found out what this thing is. This is brilliant. This is a handle that you pull out and you lift to help you get it onto the stand. I wish my other bike had that. It's really, really good. It makes such a big difference. You just lift the bike right up, and it's easy to pop it onto its stand. Anyway, so first things first, I've got to drain the tank. Actually, first things first is I may start the bike for the last time. It's not going to be started again for a long time, and it won't be the same bike when it gets started again. So it's had parts taken off, but it's still the same bike. So I think I'm going to start it. First of all, just to show that it still starts, but also it's like a goodbye start, I suppose. Let me see if I can find the keys. Let's do that. Should just start. I'll just clutch in just in case. Get on. Let's go. Nice and neutral. Start it. Really easy start. Okay, I think I've proven the concept. We have a working bike still. Oh, number plate arrived. Okay, I'm not going to run it forever. Anyway, so yeah, the bike, that's it. Shame, darling, that's your last start. Don't worry, next time you start up, you'll be feeling much better. You'll have new shoes, you'll have a new seat, you'll have new everything. Let's take this fuel tank and empty it first, I guess. There are the keys. Unfortunately, it's quite full. Okay, let me give it a bit of a suck. That's far enough. There we go. That should hopefully drain out everything. This is a bit strange. I was expecting to see the fuel pump straight down there. And yet it's over there in the corner. I don't know if you can see it. See there? That's going to be extremely hard to get to. It's sitting in this will come out. That'll give me more clearance. I think that's the clue. Anyway, let's empty it. Okay, that's all done. It's quite a lot of fuel actually. I'm being stupid. The next thing is to disconnect this battery. Yeah. Now the battery tray can probably come off as well. Actually, I'll just leave it. I will just leave it for now. We'll deal with the battery box later. Let me get the fuel tank off, because that's actually what I'm interested in. Let's just go around and have a look. Okay, so the fuel pump. In fact, that would make complete sense as to where I saw it being attached, so maybe that is stock. So that one's got to come out, and that one's got to come out. Presumably that's attached to the fuel pump, and that's got to come out. And that should be all. We shall see. Okay, there's one hose there. Wow, that hose is actually loose, completely loose. So let's see what happens if I pull it off. Ta-da! Okay, there's definitely still fuel in it, so I need to figure out how to drain that. I might just go and pour it out. Still seems like quite a lot. What I might do is try and drain it again a little bit more. Okay, that should give me a bunch more. Is that all I'm going to get out, do you think? Let's go pour this outside. This stuff is the best investment I ever made for just putting stuff on if you don't want leaks. There we go. Okay, we can now have a look at this. So I can see inside there's a baffle or a strengthener, which I didn't realize was in there, but looks like it's built in. There's two pipes that look like they would be overflow pipes, which makes sense. There's the fuel filter, which I can see, and it looks new. So I think that that's a brand new installation. And then here's the filter in here, which I need to figure out how to get out. I don't have to do that now. Presumably there is some sort of flotation device in here somewhere, which is the level indicator, so that it knows when to come on that you're low on fuel. And there should be two, shouldn't there? There should be a 4-litre one and a 7-litre one, because there's two lights on the dashboard, or there used to be. So that's probably what these two are. All good. Okay. So what's next is to have a good look at the bike without the fuel tank on and just see what's what. Good look. Let's have a really good look, so that when we put it back together, I know what it used to look like. So the tank is gone. There's this box which I need to take this off. And in that box I can just about see, because I popped the other side off, it's full of stuff. It's full of all the senders, I think. Yeah. It's all of the switches and senders that control all the signals around the bike. So that all gets replaced with the Tenet or the motor gadget, depending on what I choose. The wiring loom looks pretty basic. I will have a really good look at how it was put together. That's an empty tube. Why is there an empty tube sitting there? Could that have come from the fuel tank? I think it did. I'm just looking. Where does that go? That looks to me like it's going to be an overflow of some sort. So I've got to just... are there two of them? Yes, there are two of them. Okay, so I know what's happened here. These two, I must not forget this, these two were attached to those two. I can only assume. Okay, because those will be the overflows. I don't want to overflow onto the inside of the engine. That would be crazy. So I must remember those two. Okay. This is a part that looks like it's from the coolant remote reservoir. Not sure how it sucks it in, but it does. There's the primary coolant into the radiator. These will all go and come out there. That seems fine. This over here is the tank cushion of sorts. Those three we know. I'll label them now. I don't know what this is. This is a box. Okay, I will find out what that box is. I'm pretty sure. So there's that. I don't think we need this. I might just ask somebody if I can completely lose this. That's the alternator plugged into the back. That is the fuel. No, alternator, starter motor. Looks pretty nasty. The coils are in there that drive this box. This is the air box. So this is in fact it's quite straightforward. Very basic engine. Air comes in there. Box through the air filter to the 4 cylinders. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I reckon we can lose this entire box and I don't know, put air intakes, air collectors on them, or fabricate something and have a forward-facing one. I don't know. There's lots of opportunity to do stuff, and if I do that, I might have space to put the battery. I noticed somebody stuck the battery in the back seat, in the cowl, the rear cowling, which I thought was quite clever. Anyway, just continue to walk around. It's looking like it's not going to be too hard. Just got to keep track of where everything went. I'm going to try and take the wiring loom out, but let me get everything else off first. And we'll go from there. Next up is to get rid of all the radiator fluid. Take the exhaust off because that's irritating me. So it's getting in the way and I'm not going to be able to split it easily, so I am going to just take the whole thing off from the headers. I think that's probably the safest. I just don't want it to rest on those bolts. So I have to be careful. Okay, yay! Well, the first one is not rusted. Knowing me, the type of thing that would happen is, as I get to the last one, it would arc down and the entire thing would snap the stud. There we go. It's holding it to some degree. Yeah. Okay. There. Okay, now here we go, they all came out. Super easy. I'll just take my belt, hold it. Okay. I think. Okay. Okay, the bloody side stand is in the way. There we go. Boom! I have got the whole exhaust off. That's obviously where the side stand clips up. Is that a bash? Is that a dent? Or is that... No, that looks how it should be. Okay, so the decisions I have are whether to retain these. They look okay to me, and it's certainly a lot cheaper to buy an exhaust without them, but they've got some beautiful looking exhausts. Order is I'm going to take this off and have a look inside there. So from what I can tell, this is simply the fuel tank rear mount point bracket support. Okay, seems over-engineered just to fit a plastic box in, but it is what it is. Fuel tank rear support bracket. That should do it. Okay. Well, the book will tell me what they all are. They look like relays or capacitors. Okay, so now I am going to take this coolant overflow header tank, I think is what it's called. It's a header tank. It's in the way and it comes off pretty easily. It's literally just a tank. There's nothing else plugged into it but the actual tube. And the tube runs up here, runs up here, runs up here, and ends up going into the radiator. Close it up or not? Yeah, okay, so the radiator fluid is below that level. May pay to put in an end of sorts. Okay. Okay. Cut. Bye-bye. And fold. Not expecting anything to come out of that. There we go. Okay. Now. Oh, of course I didn't. Be careful. I have poured radiator coolant all over my floor in my garage. Yay. Oh, and it's burny, burns your hands. You've got to be so careful with it. So let me quickly go wash my hands.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I think I'm going to call it quits at that. I've got far enough that I need to make some decisions on what I'm going to buy. So I thought I'd just stop, chat with Darryl about some of the options, because when I looked at exhausts, they are exhausting. And when I looked at rear sets, I wasn't sure which ones fitted with which exhausts, and then we got onto the seats. And anyway, just to summarize where our thinking is currently at. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is Café 4 Racer, and this is model K100, and all the different types of parts that they supply, which I think is pretty good. I'm quite impressed with the variety of things they've got. So one of the things that we're going to try and do is not to put on the new front end just yet. It's expensive. This is our standard one that we are aiming for. If we just go to the other side, you'll see this one's got a very complicated exhaust set over there. I think it's going to be very expensive, and these forks are lovely, but these don't look so bad. If we repaint them maybe gold, or keep them black but put this on, and you also get a little bar, a little cover here that you can hide your indicators in, which I think is quite good. So if we keep it like that, we actually can save a lot of money and focus on the exhaust and the chair to get started, on the seat to get started. This doesn't look bad at all. This is the stock wheel. It's the stock fork. And actually all they've done is they've lowered the bike onto the forks so you can see them sticking out there, and then they add a clip on. We might need to change the suspension to keep it straight. We'll see. Be quite interesting. Let's start with the exhausts. So there's a lot of options. Too big. We want something small. So actually, this is the one we're after. I also like the sound of it. The sound is important. So it's cheap as well. It's only $200. Let's just go through the pictures. So it looks like that. Okay. It needs springs. So I'll need to order springs as well. Okay. And now I'm not sure if it looks like that or if it looks like that. See, the one looks polished, one doesn't. So it's possible we might spray them black if we don't like how they come. But there you go. It's nice and neat and tidy. It sits in the middle of the wheel and it can use the existing header pipes. I think that's understated enough, and if we have to paint them black, we can paint the whole thing black. So we're going to go with that. So they are called that plus 206. Doesn't mean it means I don't have to buy other header pipes, because that sort of pushes it up to $600. So here we go. And what was the price? $206.42, like so. Okay, next was the rear sets. So let's go and have a look at rear sets quickly. K100. So the rear sets allow us to take away the heavy pedals and push the pedals back so you can get your feet around them and set back a little bit. It looks like we may need these to support the exhaust. I'm going to ask them, see if they agree, but for now I'm just going to add that to the cart. And that's what it's called. Okay, so that's the mounting points. Now let's actually look at the rear sets themselves. So there's a variety of different options, long and short. I think most people prefer short. So in the short options, this looks to be the best. It's adjustable. So it gives you 3 positions. If you're not sure exactly where you want your foot position to be, you can move them forward and backwards on these little holes, bolt holes. I think that's what we're after. Anyway, this is the left side. There's the cylinder. I'm assuming that's the brake fluid. There's the holder there that comes with it. It's quite a nice little item. We may spray it black, but if we do the back of the body black like that, I think it actually stands out and looks quite nice. That's the one side. The other side, the non-brake side, is the gear change side. So it's set quite far back in this position. It looks like it comes without the extension being required, so that's interesting. So maybe I got it wrong. Let me take this. Okay, so I'm no longer sure that we need these, so I'm just going to put a big question mark there. Alright, now the seats are again really difficult. There's analysis paralysis, because there's so many damn options. I think we ended up with this one. Okay, so notice over here you don't have to build the loop. You literally can just chop it off there, and there's a little bit of an overhang. There's no weight there, so that's fine. And maybe you can even put your indicators inside those tubes. I think that's actually a very nice look. We'd need to get the seat before we chopped. Instead of having to buy a fiberglass type of thing and then putting your own seat on, if you just go the whole hog, there it is there. There you go. See there? I think it's really nice. There's the range of them. But that's the double seat. We want the solo seat. These are the solo seats here. Let's just blow these up. So that's very nice. Now whether you go all black like that, or whether you make this yellow or gold, or tan even, or that's something to be decided. Don't like that color, but I do like the shape, and see it chopped off again there. I think that works. Plus you can also do the loop if you want to. Just have to worry about the clearances there. Okay, we can look at these forever. Let's pick one. So black top, black side, that honeycomb stitching. Not sure if that's brown or gold. That's chocolate. We'll go with yellow. And then the stitching here, it's interesting. They got double-sided or double stitch or single stitch. I actually don't know. I've noticed the difference. I think the double is better, so I'll go with double. Doesn't seem to affect the price. And we'll add that to the cart. Seat. What else? Well, quite a lot else actually. So, what's a side mount? Okay, so as far as lights are concerned, this one looks nice. It looks very basic. It's a 7-inch British style Type 4, and it's for right-hand drive. So I'll just need to measure the spacings to see. The depth is 140 mils. I need to figure out how much space I've got, but I'm just going to add it to the cart because it's roughly the price that I'll want to pay. These are long, so it's either long or short, right? I'm assuming. Okay, what else? I can't go down the electrics path, which is the Tenet or the various other engine management systems. I'm going to stay away from it. That needs more research. But I can look at clip-ons. I can look at suspension. So let's look at suspension next. Now, we could keep the current suspension. There's nothing wrong with it. However, quick peek shows some cool things here. Down here, look at these. These have got a reservoir, which I think is very, very nice. Here we go. So you get the bottom and you get the top. This is a 350 ml reservoir. I think that is the one, 377. Let's have a look. Yep. So this is it's also got a little bit of gold in it, so it has got a little bit of the styling, although this one doesn't, so that's interesting. I don't see any options. Anyway, we will add that because I think those will look really nice. YSSG series. 7.68 I think, something like that. They look really nice, especially with that that gold ring. I think that's nice. Okay, what's next? Okay, so clip-ons next. I mean, we can get clip-ons locally, it's easy enough, but if they're here, I might as well get them all done in one shot. So, quite like this. I've measured my forks, they're 41.3, so a 41mm universal clip-on looks like it will work. Yep, 7/8, I think that's fine. I like this offset, that shape is better than the 90-degree one, so we'll add that one to the cart. So what else? We have got fork covers. Okay, so these are the one option, which is very straightforward. They're very nice. However, I've found these ones, which you can embed the indicators and the position lights. So check this out. So your indicators are built into the fork covers. I really like that, so I think we'll add that to the list. Okay, there we go. So what does that look like? Oh, I put the bracket in as well, if I didn't say that earlier. That's the mirror bracket. So 1675, so that's kind of where we've gotten up to. And there's lots of other things we can still get, right? So I think I'll call it quits at that. Because you can really have a lot of fun. There's some lovely fuel caps. Yeah, okay, let me stop. I think we'll end at this point over here. This is what Tony, or Rego22NNE, thank you Calvin for naming the bike, Tony. We'll go from there. I'll just double check that all of these work together with the guys on the site. Next time, bye bye.